So my topic is strategies aimed at regressing neovascularization in neovascular glaucoma. First, many thanks to All India Ophthalmology Society Scientific Committee and also Dr. Sumit Chaudhary and Dr. Chandana Pal for giving me the opportunity. So there is one review article we just came through in the Indian Journal of Ophthalmology March 2021 edition, from which I borrowed heavily. And introduction. So neovascular glaucoma is a severe form of secondary glaucoma characterized by proliferation of fibrovascular tissue in anterior chamber angle and devastatingly high intraocular pressure, often refractory to all treatments, results in painful blind eye. Final pathway is release of angiogenic factors, giving rise to new vessels in anterior segment. So mechanisms and predisposing conditions. The retinal ischemia, number 2 is retinal detachment, then ocular inflammation, intraocular tumors, and systemic diseases like SLE and some others, rheumatoid. So retinal ischemia, mainly 33% of the all neovascular glaucoma cases comes from PDR, another 33% from CRVO, and about 13% from ocular ischemic syndrome. Then there are CRAO, retinopathy of prematurity, APVR, PHPV, etc. Retinal detachment like chronic tractional retinal detachment, proliferative vitreoretinopathy, Coats retinoschisis. Then ocular inflammation includes chronic uveitis, vasculitis, trauma, endophthalmitis. Intraocular tumors include choroidal and iris melanoma, retinoblastoma, etc. So there is excellent pathogenesis chart given in the journal. I am not going to detail. I just summarized in my next slide the nuances of that. Main common denominator is capillary non-perfusion, which results in retinal or choroidal ischemia, or in fact both may be ischemic due to the different pathogenesis. And then there are some chemicals secreted mainly from the posterior segment, which comes into anterior segment also. So the main component is vascular endothelial growth factor. Then there is TGF, IL-6, and AGF others. So that creates iris new vessels, then also anterior chamber angle new vessels, and which results in high intraocular pressure, that is in neovascular glaucoma, and which results in painful blind eye. The most common entities we have given like ischemic CRVO. Up to 60% of ischemic CRVOs can land in NVG, and up to 65% of the PDR cases, up to 68% of the ocular ischemic cases can land in NVG. Then, of course, there are others which I already told. The stages of NVGs, if we see, first is pre-rubiosis, the new vessels not clinically visible. Then it comes to stage 1, that is rubiosis iris. First, the term coined by Coats in 1996, and there is small vessels are at pupillary margin, angle is fair, and IOP is normal, which goes into the stage 2 if we don't intervene. It is glaucoma with open angle, that is vessels coalesce and form neovascular membrane over iris and angle. Fine arborized vessels crossing scleral spur, trabecular mesoarc obstruction, and dysfunction and high intraocular pressure, which goes into stage 3, that is glaucoma with closed angle, where neovascular membrane contracts and peripheral antisynechia and angle closure with abrupt very high intraocular pressure. So comes to management, there are main few points. Like first, aim is to decrease intraocular pressure. Second is to control inflammation with topical atropine and steroids. Then regression of new vessels and treating primary cause. And even after surgery or cyclodestruction, neovascularization leads to phthisis. So my topic is this third point, that is the regression of new vessels and treating primary cause. So management protocol of NVG will come to see here. We see the high IOP and the normal IOP. Normal IOP cases managed similarly except for IOP management. Like if it is a media clear, we control the IOP and then treat etiology, and intravitreal anti-VEGF is used in all cases, and also treat inflammation. If media not clear, then we can, the corneal edema is there, or cataract or vitreous hemorrhage. Then for vitreous hemorrhage or TRD, you can go for the vitreoretinal surgery. For cataract extraction with intravitreal anti-VEGF, and corneal edema also anti-VEGF and even anti-retinal prophylaxis. So detection of new vessels, how we do it clinically. So undilated slit-lamp examination is a must. Gonioscopy, in fact, sometimes NVA may appear before neovascularization iris. color photography, including wide field photography, fundus fluorescent angiography of retina and iris both, and of course, OCTA is a new armamentarium. So regression of new vessels, PDR, extensive PRP most effective in preventing neovascular glaucoma in high-risk PDR cases. Central retinal vein obstruction by CVO study we already know. We have to observe greater than 2 clock hours area of NVI or NVA. We do extensive scatter laser, though Professor Hayre differs with the conclusions, but usually we maintain this till now. And for YS, IOP to be decreased to improve blood flow, and it is internal carotid disease, so cardiologist opinion. Our laser photoablation act. Basically, prompt panretinal photoablation results in ischemic retina photoablation and decrease of unhealthy but physiologically active retina, which results in increased oxygen to inner retinal layers through chorioretinal shunts across the scars, and decreased angiogenic factors, improved retinal hemodynamics. Here we can see it's a case of high-risk PDR with pre-retinal hemorrhage and vascular vitreous hemorrhage, and it is thoroughly lasered, you can see, except reading 2 disc diameter from the macular area temporally, and all area lasered, and up to this we came up to 500 micron. This is a slit lamp laser done with 500 micron. So the pan-retinal cryotherapy or anti-retinal cryopexy, where media is not there, you can use it.
She did not talk a single thing. Last में बाके बोलना शुरू हुआ. लोगों को इतनी immunity के बारे में.
And there is
slide बोला क्या? नहीं. I had to tell her कि please summarize.
After anti-retinal cryopexy, there will be more
summarize नहीं, वो last में रखी थी ना उसने.
And can be combined with anti-VEGF injection.
Professors को तो मुझे लगता है कि they should be more trained के कैसे बोलना.
Antivascular growth factors, anti-VEGF, intracranial ranibizumab, aflibercept converts. New vessel regress, but rapidly what I think giving comfort.
Even attempted.
Anti-VEGF gives a window where we can do proper laser and decreases AC high camera for easier surgery. Increases the success rate of incisional surgery. So regression of new vessels, new vascular structure still present after regression of new vessels by anti-VEGF, and before 10 to 14 days before trabeculotomy surgery, anti-VEGF increases the success rate, decreasing the fibrin and decreasing the inflammation also. And incisional surgery protects against recurrence of new vessels. And if IOP well controlled after surgery, new vessels regress in 50% of the cases. So this is the treatment paradigm and take home message. Stage 1, pre-glaucoma, ocular features NVI, will do anti-VEGF and PRP. Not much requirement of anti-glaucoma medications or surgery. Stage 2, open angle with elevated IOP and NVA, PRP, anti-VEGF, and anti-glaucoma medication plus minus surgery may land. Stage 3, closed angle with elevated IOP and NVA, we need all 4 weapons. This one NVG due to CRVO, which we first injected anti-VEGF, and when the media cleared, we did extensive PRP, you can see here. So take home message: early diagnosis and multidisciplinary approach, treat ischemia and decrease intraocular pressure and inflammation. Combination of anti-VEGF plus PRP or anti-retinal cryopexy before the angle closure glaucoma happens. And anti-VEGF and PRP can be used before or even after surgery of treatment vessels. Sometimes anti-VEGF is given during surgery also. Thank you for the patience here.